Okay, yeah, your mic. Nope, can't hear you. Nope, 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 nope. All right, so while we wait for Nature Mom to get her mic situated, um, again, let me say this real quick. We have a lot of distractions going on, a lot of distractions. Because there's an investigation on the Nord Stream pipeline, you have now the distraction of, oh, there's a, hey, what's going on, Deacon? There is a warrant for Putin's arrest. Oh, what warrant? And then, speaking of arrest, and then we also have Trump. He tweeted out that he's getting arrested on Tuesday. We will talk more about that on Monday. We're going to talk about that. So, shout out to hey, wait, shout out to D. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Shout out to MD. MD was under the weather, so he wasn't able to do volume 4, but we will be getting back. Let me we'll let Nature Mom get situated with her mic. This is what happens when we don't do mic checks. This is why we got to do mic checks early. I don't know. This is why we got to do mic checks. Okay, so um, a lot of distractions going on in the world news. Mic check. Yeah, Deacon, it's like that, right? And see, this is why I've been in the bands for so many years, and when you're in a band, you got to do mic checks. And this is one of the things that I like to do is do mic checks because you never know what might go wrong, even with doing YouTube videos. You got to do mic checks. Got to do your mic checks early. So if you're scheduled for 10, you might want to do mic check at 9:30. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is, Deacon. So let's see if we got Nature Mom back. I miss those days. Sound check. Oh gosh. I miss him and I don't miss him at the same time, if that makes any sense. I miss him and I don't miss him. I miss him and I don't miss him at the same time. Jesus Christ. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. All right, y'all. Yeah, just trying to get the mic check situated. So yeah, just real quick before Nature Mom comes on, she's getting herself situated. So again, a lot of distractions, y'all. What's going on, Poetic Images? Nature Mama being she's getting her mic situated. She likes to do her mic checks during the show. So y'all know I got to clown a little bit, right? Yeah, she likes to do her mic checks during the show. So yeah, but real quick, y'all, on a serious note, um, all these things you're hearing in the news are all distractions to take you away from the pipeline investigation. Everybody is hot now. First, you have Germany. Now you have France, hot on the trail of the investigation. And what do we do to distract the world from? Oh, Putin has a warrant for his arrest. Putin has a warrant for his arrest is a distraction from everybody is on the heels of this investigation of this pipeline, of the Nord Stream pipeline. There are so many international laws that have been violated here. They don't want to get down to the investigation because whoever blew up that pipeline directly caused terrorist acts against Germany. Think about that, y'all. Whoever blew up the pipeline committed a terrorist act against Germany. So, in order to distract and get everybody hot off the trail, you got to say, oh, Putin has an arrest warrant. Miss me with that. Miss me with that. Miss me with the,
Can you hear me?
yes, we can hear you now. Yes, we can hear you. Nature Mom, thank you. What about the
All
jail
right.
crisis in Philadelphia? Rumor has it it's
Yeah.
it's full of
Thank
Muslims.
you. Aw. Thanks, Nogi.
It's horrible in Philly right
All
now.
right.
But the drug crisis. Oh, the fentanyl. Yeah, we talked about that already.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about. Let me. Poetic Empress and Deacon. They missed the show that me and um, we did on the fentanyl. I think it was. Let me see if I can post this show. What's going on, Nature Mom? What's going on? Uh oh. Yeah, we're having technical difficulties again. Yeah, Nature Mom, your connections. Yeah, it's real bad. It's really bad. It's real
Oh,
bad. Yeah, you must have a lot of traffic there in the Dubai. I mean, Qatar. I keep saying Dubai right now. Reporters are going live in Philly, and one got something thrown in his car. So what? We could stop reporting.
okay.
Okay, interesting.
Okay.
Is
I
that
just
okay,
switched over.
Empress? Is that okay? Is that the fentanyl, Empress and Deacon? Are you guys talking about the fentanyl crisis? Okay, what's going on, Nature Mom? Uh oh. We had you for a minute, but now it's going bad again. Whoa, man. Yes, sir. Yes, poetic. It's bad.
All
Deacon,
right.
is it okay?
Are we there?
Mm-hmm.
Do we make it? Okay. Had to go through a
Okay.
couple of channels first just to.
Okay.
Okay. So, unfortunately, I didn't hear where you guys were. Don't mean to interrupt. Keep going. I
Oh no,
straighten
they were
this
just in
out.
the chat. I believe they were talking about the fentanyl. Yeah, the fentanyl crisis here in the U.S. We've actually did a show on uh, referring to the the fentanyl crisis. Yeah, we got a fentanyl crisis here in the U.S. and yeah, it's pretty
It's not
bad.
just the US. It's
Right.
pretty
Well,
much
yeah.
everywhere.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Empress said it's spreading. I think it reached. Oh shit! Yeah, they're saying it's reaching over to the UK. So I don't know how it gets to the UK, but
I
hey, it
already
got to
thought
the
it was
UK.
there.
Well, the
Yeah.
UK, I think, and Empress, correct me if I'm wrong. I think they're still dealing with the heroin. No, no, it was in here. No, no, no,
The
no, no, no.
opioids.
Opioids. Yeah, I think they're still dealing with that. But I didn't know if the fentanyl reached over there because it was still coming from Mexico over here. But if it reached UK, oh my gosh, that's damn.
Well, traveling is back on. So,
Well, no, but see,
you
the
know.
thing is, if you can't even be in the vicinity of it, it has to be well sealed because we showed a video where this lady, it's not okay. Hold on, it's not here yet, as far as I know. Okay, I can't because I don't know how it would get over there without killing people. Poetic Empress, because fentanyl, if you just inhale a little bit of it, your organs are going to shut down. It's that strong.
Mhm.
That's why I'm like, I don't know how they would transport. Not saying that it's impossible to transport, but I'm saying the people transporting it is at risk of dying, like instantly. Like it's chemical warfare level.
Mhm.
It's on that level, Poetic Empress. So I don't foresee it. People taking the risk trying to bring it over to the UK because it's like I said, that stuff just it seeps out and it gets in your dang nostril. You inhale it. Everything is shutting down. Your whole organs, and we showed a video of that. So wow, I'm fading from exposure to Fetty. Wow, she did. You gotta okay, Deacon. You gotta show us that, man. What the hell is Nancy Pelosi doing around Fed? Knowing she's a damn near 80 years old. Anywho, let's get to the
Yeah.
topic. Yeah, let's get to the topic because we gonna deal with this on Monday. We're gonna deal with this on
Yeah.
Monday.
All
But I want,
right. All right.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, Nature Mom, I know you got a
So,
topic for us today.
yes. Well, AI, this is the hot topic lately.
Okay,
It's coming up everywhere. It's all over the news, internationally. And yeah, I think it's funny. Nancy Pelosi fainted. She faints a lot. So I think that's really interesting.
right.
But
Well, she is 80 years old. I mean, she's up there in age.
and quite often, she's not very lucid when she's speaking. She's slurring her speech.
What's she sound like?
I know a lot of old ladies older than her, and they're much more lucid than she seems to be on a regular basis. So there seems to be a lot of I don't I've always suspected just intoxication being the culprit. And when her
Okay.
husband was arrested for a DIY, a
I
DUI,
thought they
sorry.
were. I thought they were pretty toasty when they had the Kente clause pouring libations for the guy who got shot. I thought they were under some type of illicit drug then. It looked pretty. Or at least I felt like I was on drugs when I was watching it. They were all Kente cloth
Yeah. So
and they were pouring
I mean,
libations, and I'm
and
like,
just
am
worrying,
I high?
like just thinking that whole scenario through was just very questionable. I'm like, that's a judgment call
Maybe
right there.
somebody, maybe somebody
Yeah,
was
I don't
high when they made
know.
that
A
decision.
few things, I'm sure. But yeah, she's this is not the first time the fainting has happened
Right,
in the Pelosi corner. But yeah, getting back to AI, you guys. I mean, I think that this is a hot topic. I'll tell you a real story. You know, my oldest daughter comes to me a couple weeks ago after having a conversation with an adult friend,
uh-huh.
and you know, she was quite disturbed from the conversation that they were having, because my daughter was like, "Mom, AI is here and it's taking over jobs, and you know, we're not
Hmm.
going to have any work soon." And
Okay.
so, you know, I think that that's very interesting, because when you, especially this year, you see this boom in AI technology. You know, there was a huge art contest, and the French artist who won, he
Right.
said that he intentionally did not tell the organization that he was using AI art.
Right.
And
Right.
so it wasn't until after it was discovered that it became this very controversial topic.
Right.
And like I said, the artist said that he did that intentionally. I wonder if it would have been as intentional if he didn't get caught, though. Um, you know, in the music sector, I'm really seeing, you know, a huge movement in AI technology helping songwriters to write music.
Okay.
I think that that's very interesting. You know, when so you know, we only have what, 12 keys to work with, you know, in different octaves. So
Okay.
there's like only, you know, so many keys and such a range of music as there is. But with that knowledge, um you know, so many songs still sound very similar. And it makes
Right.
me question, well, I wonder how long, you know, AI has been writing songs for some of these artists. You know, and the rest of us, we struggle. We spend our time, a lot of time, you know, really thoughtfully putting music together, and you know, being outsourced and out
Yeah, but don't you have to
proliferated.
program? But don't you have to? I mean, use the same talents to program music for the AI?
So what do you mean the same talents?
Meaning, okay, so those AI songs
Hmm.
that you program has to be done by a person
Actually,
who's
not
skilled.
necessarily, you know, because music is math. So
Mhm.
all you have to do is program, you know, math to
Program,
match in a certain way.
right? So who's programming that
So
math?
I would love that you asked that question. You know, what AI is showing us these days, AI is even programming programs. There's a new
Mhm.
platform that's out, and you don't, it's advertising a lot lately. You don't even have to know code, and you can write your own apps. So I think that that's really interesting that we have AI programming, you know, for humans. So it's really eliminating the ability to create and think on a human level. So I think that's a very interesting area that we're entering into. Very recently this week, I was reading an article about, you know, radiologists, a radio tech, who
Mhm.
basically is using AI technology to detect, you know, cancerous cells at a much
Mhm.
faster rate than doctors, and
Okay.
at a much more a higher accuracy percentage rate than doctors.
Okay.
We know that just over a month ago, there was a new article that AI is being used in the courtroom. And the biggest question that was asked is, you know, what is AI programmed to understand in order to make these verdicts that
The
they
same
started
thing that the
making.
judges do, they have a guideline. Most judges, when you go in there, that's why it's pointless to talk to the judge because they've already, based on prior convictions, your charge, and then they have a list that they go by. So it's like,
Would we also agree that there's a large amount, historically, been a large amount of, nepotism and being able to use your affluence or your status to get you out of
mhm,
cases? Once again, Paul Pelosi getting
mhm.
pulled over and arrested,
So
for
wouldn't the AI not allow nepotism as per to say, well,
so I
you
think
have
that
to
that's
go
an
through.
interesting aspect. Would it or would it not? Because one of the biggest questions right now is AI already being programmed to recognize race? And I think that that's a really interesting like perspective to
Yeah,
consider.
but how would you prove that though? That's kind of weird because.
Uh, So I think that like that is one of the most interesting conversations that I've had. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, being able to put out there that this is racially based in some circumstances. Let's I just want to pull it up for us here. But unfortunately, after all the little tech stuff we just did, I'm a little bit discombobulated. Love that word.
Because
Um,
my thing is, if you have more AI, you would have less
less
nepotism,
personal,
less
less personal
personalized.
advantages.
Right.
I
Just
think
like,
that
okay,
that's to be questioned.
and I don't want to bring up this topic until you have your guests, like the whole Tunisia situation. If you
Mhm,
have an AI in that situation, then you would take out a lot of, well, I guess you would still have the migrant issue, but the residents, it would AI would be able to differentiate those who are residents and those who are migrants per se in
mhm.
Tunisia, because, and I'll wait till your guests get here to elaborate on that further, but AI could actually, um, whereas police, they just see a black person, like, oh, that's a black person, it could be a resident, and they're mistaking them for a migrant. A computer would basically be able to detect through your retina, through your ID, through your fingerprints, through whatever
Mhm.
it is to identify you as a resident as opposed to being a migrant.
Okay. So, yeah, so I think that that's a very I think that one of the biggest issues that I read from this article on MIT technology is, these algorithms that these AI are being, programmed from right now are based on uh, I mean, honestly, like policing tactics. And so yeah, we first ask the question, is there more justice that we'll see because the AI will only focus on the law? But I think that when we're starting to put in the conversation about algorithms, then
Right.
we're talking about behavior being a barometer of behavior that's being judged. And I think that this is one of the biggest questions that's being raised right now. So, for example, we have Europa, EU, who's asking the question, are artificial intelligence and courts, a discrimination risk? Some of the factors, that they are putting out there is definitely based on the AI being programmed through algorithms and police behavior that's already occurring
Right.
versus what type of behavior would we like to see occur in the classroom, sorry, in the courtroom. Yeah, I'm a little off today, guys. It's been a busy weekend. So I think that that's something, when we're looking at AI in the future. um, there's a lot of people who've already brought up the argument to me, well, AI is going to take over our job opportunities. Um, Mostly, I see the fear coming from people who are who, let's say, have a low education level, who have low paying jobs. I think that the biggest area that will be targeted in the future are actually more mid to high level jobs. So again, like we talk about, the medical industry. We
Right.
already have students, all over the place. I didn't even realize how prevalent students using them to write their thesis and their dissertations these days. They're having AI write it. You throw your bot chat some, a list of questions, and the bot chat will write out, an email, a letter, and an essay for you.
Right. Right.
Uh, so
Uh,
I think.
but I was, and I don't know if you've seen the show with Rule Breaker and I. Wouldn't
Mm,
this AI thing create more a new industry? Because you need people to maintain, you need people to
okay.
program, you need people to, I don't know, yeah, maintain, program.
Hmm. So I
I
think
guess
that
that's
that
another
is
one.
I mean, yeah, we are expecting, let's say, roughly, 300 million jobs lost to AI. But
Uh-huh.
then we are also expecting, a 95 million jobs to be gained through AI.
Hmm.
So I think that, I mean, yeah, there's still a big, discrepancy in numbers there. We're talking about, 90 million versus, or 95 million versus the 350 million who be laid off. But I think really, like, one of the things that I discussed with my daughter was, more jobs of automation already being taken over by AI. More factories are using uh, automation over human labor. And like we had mentioned earlier, in detection, and I think someone already made a point that in solving a crime scene, being able to get evidence directly from the crime scene, and loading it in with the DNA knowledge that we have now, and being able to put other clues together for the AI to put together for us. I think that that's like a hard situation, because on one hand it will highly improve efficiency. It will highly
Right.
improve the way that people are
I think it'll
discovering.
lessen human error. I think it lessens human error or human bias. Let me just say human error, human
Well,
bias.
I think that once again brings up the conversation of, like, strict, programming to particular guidelines that are very, like, let's say in the courtroom, it's only based on, being able to analyze the data of, the current crimes, what factors have been violated in this particular crime, what factors
Okay.
have been violated in the past. The issue is, once again, I think those algorithms, when you're using it in the court, because of algorithms are based on, let's say, you know, courts who were heavily, following Jim Crowism. If we're, following algorithms, based on particular discriminatory, practices,
But if we
then you
have,
are going to find more of those cases. So let's say, for example, just in a perfect, programming situation, first we had the AI go through all the cases and
uh-huh,
eliminate any of the cases that were considered even, slightly discriminatory, and
okay.
wipe the slate clean. I think that that would be a very different building upon algorithms.
Okay, but you mentioned Jim Crow, and Jim Crow violated federal guidelines.
Oh
Not
yes.
only with Jim Crow, but with Reconstruction. And I wish, man, I wish MD he's asleep right now, but he
Yeah.
showed how all that during the South, during Reconstruction, all that violated the Constitution. So wouldn't that
Yes.
create more jobs also federally to make sure when these programs and, like you said, algorithms go in, so if they to make sure that everything follows a federal guideline, so that because I like again, I think that like the situation with Tunisia, America,
Mm,
even Ukraine are human biases that
mm,
go along with that. Let me give you case in point. Hey, what up, twin? See you in a while, twin.
Mm,
Let me give you an example.
it's been.
Like the Constitution of Ukraine. If there was an
Mm,
AI, we wouldn't go to war because the people of the Donbass would have separated according to the Constitution. But because there was human biasness, now we have this war because no, we feel like people's emotions. But I'm saying, yo, go back and look at their Constitution. Based on the
right.
Constitution, the people in the Donbass are within their right.
I mean, I think that once again, this goes back to programming. Yeah, it's because when at the end of the day, we're talking about
Mhm.
zeros and ones. Either the light goes
Right.
on or the light goes off.
I agree.
And in this situation, it depends on, like you said, most laws are so interpretive. That's kind of the issue, is that we have so
Right.
many interpretations of what a particular decree means, and
Well,
yet,
that's
because
why I
that's why
said
we
it.
have this inundated legal system we have now, right? Because they keep building on laws.
Well, that's why I said it would eliminate the situation in Tunisia because Tunisia has a unique problem. You have residents that are black that look just like the migrants that are black. I want to
I
say the
mean,
Berbers
but
and
in what way are you going to
humans.
say it
Well, when,
resolves that issue?
well,
How
right
how
now
is
they're Well, right now they're protesting in Tunisia. They're wearing their passports like on
yes,
their foreheads, on their
yes,
things, this and that, saying that we are the residents. We
yes.
are not migrants. And so
Mm,
AI would be able to distinguish as opposed to an Arab who just sees a black person. They just see a black person. They don't know whether if they're a migrant or a resident. They just see them as a black person. So
mhm.
AI would look at maybe, like you said, you got the passport. That passport would have the chip. Oh, that's a
Right,
resident right
or
there.
QR code,
That's
yes.
not, yeah, that is not a migrant right there. So
Mm.
again, we're gonna save that topic for when your friend comes on here
Right,
because,
right. That'll be
oh,
interesting
right,
to really
right,
tie
right,
this into AI technology, because
absolutely,
I think
absolutely.
that one of the things that you find quite often in the U.S., outside of the U.S., is the ability to buy your identity. So would AI be able to quickly distinguish identity? So
Well, but they will be reading chips though. They're not gonna be reading. They'll be reading
Well,
either your
that's
chip,
what I'm
your
saying.
name,
You can buy
and
a
certain
chip,
things.
right? If you have enough money, if you have the right connections, you can
Can you
buy a
buy a
chip.
retina? What about a retina? Can you buy a retina?
So then
Can you
you're
buy
crossing over to
fingerprints?
other areas. Yeah, that's another
No, but this is
area.
how AI works,
But
though.
this is
The
AI.
database. This is AI, and
Yeah,
this is how the AI database
yeah.
has been working in U.S.
Optical
for
reading,
the
yes.
right for the
I mean, I
last
think that as
30 years.
citizens, though, let's say as American citizens, we're not like the Swedish. They were very happy to put the chips in themselves. How many Americans would you say would volunteer so readily to be chipped in order to deal with such a system?
Well, you don't necessarily have to be chipped, Nature Mom. You can, like you said, you got the Tunisians wearing their passports on them.
Mm,
Now, I understand about the chip thing. You can buy a chip, but again, technology is way more advanced. Like people can drive down the street with fake tags, and the police know who the people with the fake tags are. You can't do
hmm.
that no more. Back in the day, they used to peel your sticker off of your
Yes.
car and put it on
Yeah.
their car. Well,
Yes.
there's technology that matches up that registration with your car, with your license, with what I'm saying.
Hmm.
They have the
That's
technology. They've been had the technology since 1982.
hmm. I mean, I mean, that's a really interesting one too, because oh, did I lose you? Are you still there?
Am I
Are you
here?
there? Yeah, yeah. Okay, I
Am I
can see
here?
you. Yeah, you're very blurry
Okay.
though.
Okay. Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
connection. Oh, that's
and
my
a little
connection now.
delayed.
Yeah, that's my connection. Give me a minute.
Um,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
S- so I don't know if you're able to hear me.
I can hear you. Yeah, I
Okay,
can hear you.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. That's my
So
connection. That's my
so I'll just
connection.
go forward. I think that's really interesting. For example, that the registration tagging system that happens in U.S. versus other countries. the car comes with the plates, so you actually purchase your license plate. So there's no tag, no sticker that goes on every year. They know just by running your plates, or seeing it through their multiple camera systems, even private camera systems. They will know which direction you went in because those plates belong to you. It doesn't matter what other car you put them on. Those are you. And yeah, America doesn't really use this technology. um, Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't driven in the United States for over 10 years, so I wouldn't even know the first about how registration and technology works now. I mean, I just remember getting the notice that, like, my old license plate, I mean, sorry, driver's license number will be changed, and that was memorized, like second nature, because that's who you were. That was your identity, as well as your
Right.
driver's license. And so now I'm not even sure if I have an identity anymore in the United States without that number. So I'm not sure of how the system has
You still
upgraded.
have your they still have your fingertips, Nature Mom. Trust me,
Yeah.
they're not letting you go out of the system just
Yeah,
that
probably
easily.
not.
Trust me.
Oh,
No, they don't. They
believe me,
don't.
over here, just opening a bank account, first thing, they do is make sure that you're signing a W-9. Oh, American. Oh, okay. He signed this form. And IRS is
Right.
like, "Hey, we know you're there." Yeah. That's very interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, again, Nature Mom, they've been doing this since 1982 because people have been running from the IRS, from child support, from being a fugitive. And so, yeah,
Right.
they know where you are in the world unless you go into the
Yeah.
Amazon forest. And even then, they're probably going to know
They
that you're in
probably,
the
yeah,
Amazon
find
forest.
they're tracking you, yeah, through the satellite
Anywhere they got,
system.
yeah, satellite system. Yeah,
You're just like that passport. You're like glowing blue. So yeah,
right.
it's
Mhm.
possible. But I think that one of the biggest things that we brought up here is what I believe are the jobs that are going to be taking over. Because I have a very different perspective about AI. One, I'm very welcoming, of it. I think that the advantages that it can leverage me, as a person who's interested in science-based businesses, is going to be, absolutely amazing. I'm
Right.
already using AI in many ways to, do small tasks. But I've already admitted, that if I could have, like, yeah, Rosie, uh, come into my house like the Jetsons, she'd be here in 5 minutes.
And that's going to happen eventually. That's going to
Oh
happen. And
yeah,
that's
I
why
mean,
I was
the
trying to
Jetsons
tell,
already showed us, right? They were already
I,
preparing us.
I was trying to, and this is where life experience comes in, because I was trying to tell Rule Breaker, because Rule Breaker was like, I want to prove people's speech. But in real life, I call credit card companies like, spell it how can I help you? And it's like I can barely understand them. So
Yeah.
what are we talking about? Like I understand her education, but when you apply it in real life, that's not the case. They will outsource. Can you hear me? My
Yeah,
connection just
yeah,
went
yeah.
weird.
You're breaking again, but we can hear you. I can hear
Okay.
you. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as long as you can hear my audio, don't worry about
Yeah.
don't worry about
Yes.
all the other. Okay. So these industries don't care how you talk. They care about what's the bottom line. Can I get cheaper labor out of you? So,
Yes. I
and
have
we
to
got
agree with that.
we have to create more jobs, and it just shout out to Rule Breaker, but it was like going over her head, and I'm like, what are they teaching her in those colleges? Like, I understand the book sense, but you gotta apply real life reality too. And she was kind of stuck on some things. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but if you look at it,
Not
you'll
yet.
see
No.
what.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to
I'll
spoil it
be
for you,
taking a
but
look.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No spoiler alerts. I'm
Okay.
curious.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to
Yeah.
have another round two with the three of us. Talking about the industry and reformation, and creating jobs for the ex incarcerated.
I'm gonna
Would
definitely
you?
need you. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely need you there because I think you will soften the blow because I think the blow was a little bit intense for her. Like I said, she's applying a lot of book knowledge and all that, but when you apply real world knowledge, it's not exactly how you've been taught in the colleges. I get you got the master's degree and all that, but at the end of the day, they're hiring, like I said, most of your major banks, Chase, Bank of America, Citibank, Discovery, Bank of America. When I want to come here and say that's well, how
Yeah.
can I help you? And I'm like,
Yeah, it's
yeah, well,
already outsourced.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, I can't understand these people. So what are we talking about?
Yeah, it's
Because
already
they're cheaper.
outsourced.
Because they're cheap. Why? Because it's cheaper labor.
I mean, I think that one of the biggest fears for AI, really dominating the job sector in the future is that it's my prediction that we're going to see much more. We're going to see much more child labor and it be legalized.
Okay, go ahead, Nature Mom, because I got a lot to say about child labor. I got a
Okay,
lot to say
okay. I
about
mean,
that.
we know for a fact that it's already happening.
It's already
Um,
right.
yeah. So I think that two most important things that they bring forth is with AI and both child labor are labor sources that don't question authority and just execute the job.
Thank you.
So I think that like yeah, people, this is one of the reasons why we are being so dumbed down. We have these, great apps that do everything. You don't even have to, learn, aperture and, lens settings anymore to be a photographer. You just have your, mobile device and point and shoot, and it's going to adjust for you. All you have to do is push the auto button, and so what is happening? We are taking away the ability to think through that process. We're taking away the ability to be able to creatively approach that process because there's already an auto button, and even the adjustments, they're automated as well. So we're not using our creative, um, how they would use this creative process. There's a question about like me and Rule Breaker. I can't say whether I agree or not because, like I told Black Sun, I didn't see this show, so I don't know what's been said. So I agree with Rule Breaker very much on the way that the incarceration system is also used as another system to break the ability to be gainfully employed and to outthink the systems that are presently in place. We know now, there's so many studies coming out talking about how, just, scrolling on social media and giving social media a lot of our hours are actually, numbing parts of our brain, and numbing our thought process and our executive process abilities. So, I think that that's one of the things that I really wanted to, present. And I presented to my daughter when she came so fearful, and I could see, through the adult that spoke to her how fearful they were to have a conversation with one of our future, workers about this topic, and to
Right.
already have her instilled in fear. And one of the things that I was able to do by the end of that conversation was actually, look her deep in her eyes and say, Mommy's not afraid because uh, I will be one of the people using AI technology
Right.
to advance the endeavors that I'm going after now. I have no fear of that. AI will always need human beings. Until they completely turn us into batteries, they'll still need us, right? So,
Right.
um,
Good point.
so I choose to continue to execute my learning abilities. To now, yes, AI can upload information much faster than I could
Right.
sit down, read it, process it, analyze it. But that's not the point. The point is that I will be able to use the human leverage, and human advantage, that AI just can't do on its own. So once again, going back to using AI in the court system, um, someone has to program that AI to be able to process those algorithms in a particular way. That's how coding works. You want this, and it's not necessarily only zeros and ones. It's asking a question and then resolving that question with the zeros and ones. So, it can only be asked a question a certain way. And yes, with new AI, they're taught to think, they're taught to, learn our human inflections so that they can resolve issues faster. But for now, where we are is that, they're going to follow a particular algorithmic system based on data put in to a database, and they will be following that data. So yes, to answer your question, I do feel like will be a bias at this point, because algorithms can be biased. Every time you get on your social media, there is bias algorithms coming at you guys. They're
Absolutely.
choosing, what other people you're going to see. They're choosing what advertisements you're going to get. Is completely biased. So can that happen in the courtroom? Absolutely. Now, can it be used functionally and effectively, like one of the viewers mentioned earlier? Can it process data to analyze a crime scene and help us to find out faster who the perpetrator is? Absolutely, because that's already happened. We caught so many serial killers in their old age because of the technology that we've developed at this point,
Right.
because of the DNA analysis. And we talk about fingerprints. You can't mistaken DNA.
Not only
um,
have they found people, but they've actually exonerated people too of
Yes,
like rape
yes, that
cases.
that's been one of my favorite parts. Exactly. I'm gonna put a little bit light in the system here, but
Okay.
absolutely, exonerating people has been one of my very, very favorite parts of
Right.
this system so far. I mean, how many people
Hmm.
have spent so many years of their lives, the majority of
Yeah,
their
like
lives,
the
in
DNA
prison just
cases.
because of the
Right.
color of their skin, and then finds out
Hmm.
they had nothing to do with this situation whatsoever, you know.
Right.
So I think that this is also going to be very helpful when we honestly tackle historical events in the United States and other
Hmm.
places around the world, as we're able to use AI to uncover. Let's say, once again, we brought up this topic about Red Summer, and how many people, how much DNA is lost right now. AI is going to blow that out of the water in the
Absolutely.
future, once we're able
Absolutely.
to put it in the right places. Because right now, AI is in the entertainment space quite heavily. It's in
Yeah.
many areas of science, but the general person does not have access to the science technology as
I'm
much as they
sorry.
have to the entertainment. Yeah.
CGI
you
movies.
know,
I'm sorry.
or
They
I
suck.
mean, I don't, I just like, to see one more
I
picture of a person, who's like in perfect shape, perfect skin, and then you like see them on an interview later and you're like, oh, who's that? It, AI
oh,
right there.
you're talking about like
Yeah.
uh
Yeah, those
uh
filters and
enhance.
these
Oh, okay,
AI
okay. I see what you're
enhancements.
saying.
Exactly. And then you see the
Okay,
real
okay.
person and you're just like, wow, that is
Right.
not what they look like, on their
In the
profiles
movie.
at all. So
Right,
I think that
right,
that's going to be a very
right.
interesting future call for AI, is
Okay.
being able to really bring life back to reality for people.
Okay.
I think that it's going to really be helpful in other ways as well. Like, for example, the amount of people who are suffering. We talked last week about, I mean, opioid overdosing, suicide went up
Right.
21.6% just in 1 month.
Okay.
And how many people will be able to be helped, mental health wise, through AI? Just even the chatbots. I mean, I don't know if you guys ever
Yeah,
saw
but
the movie
don't.
Her, but
I mean, I get a little frustrated though when I call customer service and it's an AI as opposed to a real person. I feel like a real person is
Well,
solving the
sorry,
issue
it's getting warm.
more than a computer because a computer only has a certain limited
Database.
questions. And it's like
Yes,
eventually I'm like, operator, operator, operator. Well, please press one or two. Operator, operator. Okay, I want to get a live person because I want to get this resolved
absolutely.
now. And I feel like
Right.
the the AI is always in favor and bias of the company. Like, give me give
Absolutely.
me give me an example. Like
Absolutely. And it's
I had
completely designed like that. Yeah.
right, like yeah, like I have two credit cards, right?
Mhm.
Same company. I don't know why they just didn't send me one credit card, but I say this to say, nature mom, is that I made payments at the same time with both credit cards. You know, they apply both payments to one credit card and charge the other
Yeah.
one late fee. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, 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 do this. No, you see where it's the overpayment. Y'all gave me credit. Right. You see, I have two credit cards, right? Right. Can you please take off the late charge and apply that to the other credit card?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the
So
person, oh, I see that. You're right. So,
So I think that's an absolutely perfect example of how AI is working right now. AI is working to maximize the financial benefit of the company over just doing good business over customer
right,
service. I mean, now good companies are trying to use AI for good customer service, absolutely. But right now, I mean, AI, for corporations to know how to take more of your time, more of your money, how to get you to
right,
pay more for the same
right,
item, absolutely is happening. And this is the psychological the corporate psychology I was talking about before. I mean, this was a course that they were teaching when I was in high school. This was just a
right,
regular high school class. Now, in order to get this knowledge, you have to absolutely have a higher degree. This was once high school
right,
information, and now you have to have a higher degree, to be privy to how you are constantly being manipulated by psychology and by AI systems in order to get more and more of your income out of you. And then how to, they're using AI technology quite often for human resources now. So much more than they're using human, people sitting in those human resources seats. You have AI, interviewing. You have AI, doing candidate comparisons. You have AI, just like even responding to whether or not you're a right candidate. All of these personality tests, they've been going on for a
right,
long time now. I mean,
right. That's true.
the way that technology and AI is able to advance that technology to let that corporation, a corporate leader know, is this a person who's going to do what I asked them to do when I ask them to do it, or is this somebody who is going to ethically think about what I'm asking them to do and whether this is right or wrong. And I think that that's one of the areas in the future we're definitely going to go into, no matter which sector, is really like the ethical aspect of AI is going to be much harder. uh, Another prime example of this, we've known that there's been heavy Washington lobbying from the food industry, I mean, for the last 4 decades. And the AI is not judging what's going into your food that you're eating every day. The AI
Right,
has it, or is not going to leak information that those hot dogs are highly carcinogenic, and that they've been designed to put any and every chemical in there from the beginning, just to spark your first taste buds. And it was people who were the first whistleblowers. AI is not going to whistleblow if they're not programmed to do it.
right, right.
So I think that
Absolutely.
ethically we're going to be running into, if we don't really find heavier regulations on these areas of industry, we're going to find that there's going to be a lot more corruption that's going to slip through the cracks. We're going to see a lot more of our lifestyles, uh, our quality of lifestyles diminish because of lack of ethical of lack of ethical companies, and lack of ethical
Okay.
business overall. And so this is really something, this is where, like, as human beings, we have to think of our leverage. There's something that we can do that AI will never do for us. So yeah, absolutely, Deacon. The moral code, making the moral code law, like heavily lawed, heavily regulated. So guess what? That's your position. You are going to
Right,
be the
right. Good
regulators
point.
of this.
Good point.
So I think that, like, when people they're being petrified with fear of, because I when the lady who was talking to my daughter, her job is in the service industry. So yeah, it's easy to imagine, push a button and Rosie's gonna come with the electronic arm and bring you your peanuts and your soda, and won't need you anymore. But if you are constantly upping your skill level and upping, let's say, your focus on,
Hmm.
moral code, especially, AI will never be able to outdo a human being when it comes to moral code. And I think that the biggest challenge is really, like, creating moral codes that we find mutually beneficial, as we, go from place to place, and not just from person to person, but mutually beneficial for the whole biosphere. What's good, for our air quality, what's good for the water quality, what's good for animals. Who is this industry, extincting because they want to build another building or bridge,
But
and
let me give you. Okay, I'm a little. Okay, I'm a little perturbed by this right now.
okay.
A lot of people have different ideologies of what, like, okay, you talk about moral code. Okay, so
Mhm.
are we all
Uh,
in agreement that meat, dairy, and eggs cause high blood pressure, diabetes,
well,
high
let's
blood
say,
pressure,
for example,
diabetes? And, okay, so
right, let's say, for
okay,
example,
let's talk
you
about
bring up
like
that
diet.
question. Okay,
Right,
because diet
right.
is a big one, and
Diet
as
is a
we
big
just,
one, and
and
as human
especially as
beings,
we
we
just
all have.
uncovered,
Okay, we all have
and
different ideas when it comes to diet.
and
Like
and
people,
let's be
right?
clear, the food industry, that the same food industry that has been lobbying to get these meats on your table are the same food industry who just overturned a bill to uncover GMOs. So genetically modified organisms in your food, whether it is meat or
Hold on,
vegetable.
hold on, hold on, hold on,
Yes.
hold on, hold on, hold on. I got to stop you right there. See, there's going to be a
Okay.
war right here. People are still debating. Like, okay, like one of my things is we're not designed to eat meat. We're not.
Okay.
We're not
But
designed to eat meat.
let's
Your
let's say we
intestines are
choose to.
right. Okay,
And
but you
let's say
choose
that
to.
you
Right.
you you
So,
choose to eat vegetables,
okay,
but if you're eating
right.
vegetables that have been spliced, with an
But it's
organism
still
or
water
bacteria.
based. But it's still
Not
water based,
okay.
and it still
It's
has
water
the
based.
fibers
Okay,
to
we can say it's
flush
a
your
procreate,
system out.
right? Okay,
Right.
so you have this prokaryotic, being that's water based, but even though it's water
And
based, doesn't mean
fiber
that it's not
based.
harmful. So let's be specific. You've got, parasitic, prokaryotic creatures, right? That's where, I mean, you have parasitic eukaryotes too. I
Hmm.
think that human beings are one of the most parasitic, animals on the planet. But you
But my
have, you have non eukaryotic based, and you have prokaryotic based organisms that if they get
mhm.
into your blood, your body, your system, they can kill you. So let's talk about, like, these, people are finding, scientists are finding, but if we splice this gene of this prokaryote, even though we know that it has some toxic abilities, or we know that this, this toxic portion, if a human being eats it in itself, can kill them. Now, if we splice it with this vegetable, or meat, It doesn't matter which one. If we splice it with this and you eat it, you can have slow effects that you have no idea in the long term how they're
So
going
what
to
about
affect you
the
because it's a new.
what about the moral argument of like
Here we go.
every every fruit every fruit and vegetable provides every nutrient you mean, and we don't have to kill any animals. What about that morality?
Oh,
Because people
okay.
talking
So
about, oh, I'm so righteous and so this and kill that
yeah,
goddamn cow. I want my
you
goddamn
know,
burger right
and
now.
some people only
Kill
want
that
the happy
goddamn
cows,
chicken.
right? I heard a comedian say recently, "Why are you killing the happy cow? Get the one that's depressed. He won't care, right?" But seriously, I mean, no, I think that those are just absolutely complete, just you know, like you always say, word salad to make people feel better.
Word
I think that
salads.
the
Right, because
most
people say,
important
oh, I'm so
point
righteous. I'm so heavenly, so spiritual. Kill that cow. I'm
is
hungry
just,
right
yes,
now.
they're awake and
The
hungry.
blood
Okay,
dripping from
woke
my
and hungry.
give me that cow. Give me that
So
chicken. Oh, I love
so
God.
I
I'm
think that
so
the
peaceful.
issue,
Kill that goddamn pig.
okay. So if I can add to this conversation, I think
Okay.
one of the biggest issues when I'm trying to, because I mean, what is the industry doing right now? One, they're using algorithms to constantly go after what you're looking for. Most people are looking for
Right.
healthy diets for my kids, healthy snacks for my kids. All of a sudden you start getting, buy here and get coupons for this. And then you find out that the apples that they are uh the apples that you are purchasing from this particular food industry that is lobbying, they know for a fact that those apples were underpicked, undernourished, and they were gassed just to have the color that makes you attracted to it and then
Right,
waxed
Nature
up.
Mom.
Yes.
And I think
Okay.
we're going too deep into that rabbit hole. I just was
Okay.
giving an example of the whole morality thing.
But I
So
mean,
let's
I
get back to
wanted,
the
if
AI.
I could
And I,
bring the
yeah,
whole
okay, no
food
problem.
conversation, yeah, the
Okay.
whole food conversation,
Because I
is
think that's
that
where it
like
starts.
there
Right, the
is
whole
so
morality.
much food in general that is being undernourished, and some of us believe on purpose, so that we have, because they've got us so focused on macro, watch your macronutrient nutrients, carbs and proteins and fat is so important,
Right,
yeah,
which we
but
get
so
it.
are
We
vitamins,
actually,
so are
right, we,
minerals,
right.
and when we're
Which is funny
depleted
because
of these vitamins, minerals, we can't think.
nobody in America has ever died of protein deficiency, for the record. But go ahead, Nature
Hmm.
Mom.
Right. But we have had
Right.
a lot of issues with true vitamin C deficiency, true vitamin A deficiency, vitamin D deficiency.
Which you
A
can
lot of
get all
people
from
wonder. Say it again.
which you can get all from plants.
You can get, now let me be specific, and this is from a botany point of view. You can get from the right plants that
Okay.
are, grown in the right, environments with the right soil, that are not being, depleted of their nitrogen and, not being, just smothered with, chemical pesticides and chemical hormones to make them. Here we go. Ding, ding, ding. I love it. Yeah. So, I mean, when we're talking about food here, I don't see very many, lions with
So
cancer,
we
but I do see a lot of vegetarians and vegans with cancer all the time. So I'm
whoa,
just
whoa, whoa,
saying that brings up a
back
very
up, back
important.
up, back up, back up,
Yes,
back up, back up,
yes,
back up,
I
back
know.
up,
We're
back
going to talk
up.
about digestive systems, but even backing it up a
According
little
to
more, right?
nutritional.org, the top
Okay,
10
and
killers, the top 10 killers are all caused by meat, dairy, and eggs. According to Dr. Michael Greger, according to
okay,
Dr. Kohan, they're all caused by meat, dairy, and eggs, the cholesterol level. So that's a whole nother, we could debate that all
yeah,
day.
yeah,
But
I
what
love
I'm
it.
trying to say, Nature Mom, is that what we're doing right now is what's going to happen when you talk about programming the AI with morality.
Exactly. Well,
You
I
can't
think
talk
that not
morality with
just
me and
with
you're sitting out here slaughtering
morality.
the damn right way. You got these
But
slaughterhouses and
but
all
when
that.
you're
You
when
can't,
you're you are making the rules exactly, and you have these lobbying, giants, who
mhm.
are dictating what is okay in our diet and what's not. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember that old pyramid that they gave us in grade school, you know, and the pyramid, gave us like,
which they're
eat as many
modifying now.
grains as you can.
You,
They're starting to
right,
modify.
they're modifying
Exactly.
and they're taking out the
Exactly.
meat, the dairy, and the eggs because the studies are overwhelming that it is bad for us, and that
And let me add also the
the
grains. A lot of
some of
grains
the
are being
grains, some
removed.
of the grains, some of
Some
the
grains,
grains,
yeah, yeah.
some
But a lot
grains,
of the
some
ones that
grains.
they sold us before are being
But the
eliminated
lentils,
from
more people are
legumes.
realizing the
Legumes, they're
legumes.
okay as long as they're not
Now,
genetically modified, I believe. I
okay,
mean, I
what you
think that
believe?
what will be interesting in the future will be, actually having an AI source that could read whether or not, a legume or a seed comes from, a heritage seed versus a Monsanto's, or, or one of the new patented, designer seeds. I think that that's going to be really interesting if they will allow that to be, something that's going to be in our AI future, versus, can I have a photo with my lips enhanced, without actually going through the surgery, right? So, I think that that's exactly, we're both saying the same things from two different sides, which is, who's going to dictate, whether we're in a courtroom, whether we are at the grocery store, who's going to dictate what algorithms are going to say this is good and this is not good, especially when they are eliminating programmers right now. Notice the trend. What's the biggest industry that took a hit in this recession that they wouldn't even claim was a recession for a
Right.
long time? Are they finally claiming that it's a recession in US? Just wondering.
Actually, so here's where we're on in the U.S. right now. Um, Let me give you two
As I
different
killed a bug.
perspectives. Right now, the people who are woke are focusing on the Nord Stream pipeline. But because the Nord Stream pipeline is a hot button issue, because Germany wants an investigation, France wants an investigation, all of a sudden in the news, Putin has a warrant for his arrest. Putin has a warrant for his arrest. And then all of a sudden, Trump tweets out, they're gonna arrest me on Tuesday, everybody. Protest, they're gonna arrest me. So there's a lot of distractions going on here in the US because we're talking about
Oh,
investigating the pipeline, which
oh, we've seen
what
this
happened to
before.
Germany. What happened to Germany is it was a terrorist attack.
Yeah, we've seen this before.
And
I
just
mean,
like how you talked about how we can, it's just like I don't care where around the world I go, if they look at the feelings in my mouth, they're like, oh, those come from America. So we have CO4 explosives just made in here in America. Everybody has their signature mark, and they're trying to hide the fact that these C4 explosives, which only the UN and America military is allowed to go in, not the Russian military, all of a sudden they're saying, oh, Trump is going to get arrested on Tuesday. Oh, Putin has a warrant for his arrest. No, no, don't look at the pipeline, y'all. No, 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 no. Putin has a warrant for his arrest. Putin has a warrant for his arrest, and Trump is going to get arrested on Tuesday. That's what's going on here in the U.S. Nature Mom, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no,
I'm just sick of the
absolutely. So
nonsense.
I think that, like, that's an interesting point. In also, like, looking towards how is AI going to be more for the people, or is AI going to be more for our mafia governments? This is something I think that is going to be seen. Um, Uh, I mean, I have to agree. I would rather work using, AI than working for people. Absolutely. Um, because I do feel like there are going to be, only more and more. I mean, we see it's what's happening now. We see that nothing's really changing for the better at this point, with as we already put out there, the food industry in the cover-ups. What would happen if we had AI news? you know don't tell us what you think, if we don't have huge influence, just, information that comes very straight to us. uh, our governments would have to shut down. We would lose half of them. Let's not forget, when the Ghislaine Maxwell list was being released, all of a sudden there was COVID, there were all these distractions, a
Right.
lot of smoke
Thank
screen.
you. Right.
and
Lockdown,
and
everybody. Lockdown.
and we never came back to that issue when
Right. They're like, oh, we
when
got to
the
get rid of
Chinese
it.
when the Chinese People's Republic was when they were found to have misallocated their citizens' funds, lockdown again,
Right.
and
It was like
and
it was like,
under
oh,
military force.
do we have the list of pedal island? Oh, lock down, everybody, lock down, lock down. Wait a minute, who's on this pedophile list here? Oh, we have, oh, lock down, everybody, lock down, lock down, lock down, lock down,
and
lock
and
down,
and,
everybody, lock
and we have
down.
not come back to that conversation yet.
No, we
You
haven't.
know,
Right.
so I think that like the way that servers work together, I mean, we can't like run a trail now. My kid like decided to like go and have an adventure in this city that she thinks is so safe, and within moments I had the police like, which way did she go, and the city surveillance followed her. And you're telling me that they can't figure out who's been on plane manifestos, and who's been even from their cell phone signals, from their computer ID codes, that they could not figure out who's been where. I find that really hard to believe. But could we have, for example, AI just run, I want to know, what signals came out of this particular area on this date. Dun, 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 dun. 30 minutes later, ping. That's not possible already. You're telling me? I want to know with computer IDs came from this area. I want to know what cell phone bounced off of that tower, because there's only one tower, or bounced off of the satellite from this location, at these dates.
Okay.
And that hasn't happened yet. So, I think that this is one of the really important ways to see how AI is already being directed, you know. So,
So now eBizzle just left a comment and it made me brainstorm on something. He says,
okay.
China president. Now we know China are the masters of AI.
Oh, I mean, isn't that
They're the
why TikTok
masters.
is banned in US now, correct? And they were
Right.
already banned in EU. So, and I know that 5G was really being pushed here. And when I first came to this region, Huawei, I can't say the name of that brand for the life of me. They were being advertised everywhere. Now you don't see anything but their own companies being advertised. So I think that's really interesting and quite telling, that people are blocking TikTok out of their regions, for siphoning information, and for having components in them that are doing other things other than what they agree that these cell phones and these chips and these technologies are supposed to do.
Right. Um, Another thing which is interesting, gynocracy, GTO, she just talked about how would AI deal with a situation like reparations, like just hypothetically, because I
Okay,
know,
so
yeah,
hypothetically, if black
hypothetically,
people
right?
write the programs, then we'll probably have reparation. So start programming.
Oh,
And
right.
don't
So black
program from
people,
a program. Learn how to actually do the C plus, learn how the HTML, learn how to read JavaScript. I've taken those courses. I know how to do basic programming, and being, you gotta, yeah, think of it that
now,
way. If you want something to
Ebizzle,
happen.
Ebizzle, he lives in he lives in one of those Midwestern states. Shout out to Eric Bell.
Okay.
And he said he would take AI over some of these bosses he be having. So I'm assuming there's a lot of discrimination, a lot of racism, but AI as a boss, I don't know. What would you say to that?
Um, I would say that, one, I mean, AI can't really be a boss because it's not leading you, right? These guys are supposed to be leaders. So these type of, let's say, leaders that you're talking about, they sound more like siphoners. So we know that siphoners are people who are doing everything that they can to get, the most out of their salary, even if it costs, the team their productivity, and their creativity, which grows the company. So Yeah, I don't know. I would just say um would I want to be led? No, I'd rather be the person who is using AI for my endeavor projects. I wouldn't want to be led by any computer. No.
Okay. Um, ah, I went to, out of all places to go eat, because I was out there in the country. I went to Taco Bell, right? And most Taco Bells, they have the thing where a lot of the register, when they take down their order, you can add certain things, take away certain things. Now, you know, I'm vegan. I'm not trying to have no animal products in, so I punch it. The computer did what it was supposed to do, but I guess people, human error, they're so used to making it a certain way, they put cheese in it. And I'm like, no. So where the computer did what it's supposed to do. So
So the information was there. I mean, let's say there will be a time in the very near future where your taco is gonna go through its conveyor belt and it's gonna drop the ingredients. This one is a one, so it's gonna drop it. This one is a O, so it's not gonna drop it.
right,
But yeah, I have to say there's some discrepancy in saying vegan and Taco Bell because one of the things that like that
I know
that shell that you're eating, that is not vegan, right? That shell is corn product, and
that.
it is spliced with a an organism, a living organism, so that the corn will actually not be eaten. Yeah, it's disgusting to know,
Whoa,
but
whoa,
yeah,
whoa. So
you're
they
you're not
whoa, whoa,
eating
whoa. Do they do that to the? You
non-vegan
talking about the
food.
hard shell? Hard
Yes,
shell?
all of it, all of it.
All of it. Oh,
Yeah,
all of it.
also
I ain't eating that
absolutely.
no more.
Yeah, they found animal organisms that was resistant to the corn worm,
Right.
and they've been splicing because they don't have to claim GMO. And I think that that's something important. A lot of people who think that they're vegan, you're not.
Mhm. Right.
You're eating
So,
bugs already. That's why they keep telling you you're going to eat bugs and be happy.
well, we've been eating bugs and being happy.
you know, it's true.
Been bugs.
That
I mean, a
there's a
lot of your
lot of your
candies, your corn
products.
candies, your corn candies, your Skittles, a lot of your candies, a lot of your Snickers bars, a lot of your Twix, a lot of your Reese's cups. Yeah.
Yeah, a
Yeah. But
lot of the stuff is, yeah, spliced and diced
okay,
organisms.
so
Organism Bell,
right.
absolutely.
Organism Bell. So I'm assuming, wait, poetic, do they have Taco Bell in England?
I haven't seen it when I was there, but
Let me know
I did see
if I'm not
KFC.
sure if that's.
Lots of
Yeah, I know. No,
KFC
KFC is.
oh,
No, people in England love KFC. Oh my gosh, they
oh, not
love
just
Taco
England.
Bell.
Here
Yo,
in all parts of Europe,
I swear,
KFC is huge. You
and
can
this is
find two things,
excluding.
KFC and you can find McDonald's.
This is excluding all the black people in England. So I'm not talking about you, Empress, but the people in England remind me of the people in the Appalachians. Like I don't see no difference. The people in the Appalachia, the people in England, you could tell they're related. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Empress, if you don't know about the Appalachian Mountains, look it up, and then you'll see the people there, and you'll see some of the white people, and you're like, oh, they're definitely the same people. So yeah, shout out to.
Anyway, that
Oh
is
wait,
their
Taco
the
Bell is.
heritage.
Yeah, Taco
Oh,
Bell
there is.
is in the UK.
Ah,
Wow, but it's not
that's
popular.
impressive. That's impressive. I've
Wow,
I've never seen it.
wow,
I mean, I've
that's
been through
amazing.
London and up to Highgate, but all these corporations. What I'm discovering is that they all kind of run under the same names, uh, but offering different things in different regions. Oh yeah, I
Actually,
know.
that doesn't
Yeah,
surprise me.
KFC. No,
Actually, you
I
know what?
remember
Because I live.
KFC when I was 11 in Kingston. Yeah.
Actually, you know
So
what? I'm gonna say and this is really sad because I live in Stone Mountain, Georgia, right? Not only do we have Jamaicans, we have Somalis in Ethiopia, and they patronize the KFCs, the Church's chickens, more than black people in America do. It's
it's
weird.
very popular in Europe. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm starting to see, like Eastern Europeans coming out of KFC as if they went in and This is the first time they're coming out. Yeah. Yeah, you're really starting to see size increase in Europe. Yeah.
We wonder why China banned McDonald's, but we could discuss that on another day.
Yeah. I mean, is that a recent ban? Because
No, they've
I've
been banned. They've been
no,
banned
I
McDonald's.
have a couple of posts that I put on Twitter actually with some discrepancies because if you remember during COVID, McDonald's was one of the first places that was filmed that was discriminating against the black consumers, so not letting black consumers come in. McDonald's was one of them, and I
Okay,
posted that.
okay,
So I don't know if this is recent because McDonald's did try to have a comeback when they got the American and European backlash, like how
right.
dare you treat human beings like that, and then they tried to take a couple of steps back. So
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because I think, and I want to say this. I know I keep bringing up the TD. You can tell I'm prepared for the Tunisian conversation.
oh,
They're going to get a
great,
backlash, but their defense is residents versus migrants. So just keep that
yes,
in mind and keep that in mind for your guests.
well,
So you already know how I'm coming, Nature Mom. And so
yes, absolutely.
you give
I
your
mean, I
guests a
think
heads up
that
because
that
that's
is
how I'm coming.
absolutely, one of the interviews that I was watching very recently as well. Um, this was the same topic that was brought up, and I just love that Tunisian born citizens, particularly women, were speaking up about this discriminate. And I love how this one woman put it. She said this discrimination, it is not new. She said it's historic and it's
Right.
just
I agree.
exacerbated. Yeah, so I think that that is a really important point.
So let me ask you,
That
because I've seen this one interview, you had a resident defending the migrant. Is that what happened? Because the police was trying
uh
to keep this black resident from their certain neighborhood where they had a bunch of migrants, and they were trying to keep them separated, saying, no, 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 you don't belong here. But she's like, I'm a resident. But apparently,
yeah.
is she trying to rile up the niggers there in Tunisia? That's what it sounds like there. You trying to rile
I
up
mean,
the
I think
niggers right
that
here.
the point that a lot of residents are making is that
Look at
you
here.
know
The Tunisia residents are some good niggers. We ain't gonna have you rile up, goddamn. We'll have you rile up the goddamn these migrants
yeah.
around here.
And once again, I think that the biggest and hopefully Jauher will be able to join us, and or his sister or both of them will be
All right.
great in the
So
next
they
week.
are residents, right? They are residents, right?
They're
Hmm.
residents.
Oh,
They're
good. Woo!
yeah, natural
Okay.
citizens.
Gotta,
Yes. So
gotta
they were
lighten up the
born.
wait.
Yes.
Natural citizens.
Yes. Yes. So
So
they
their
are
parents weren't born
native
there.
citizens. Native citizens, should we say? They are Tunisian born.
What about their parents?
Their parents as well.
Okay, 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 okay,
Yes. Yes.
okay.
They are
We're
Tunisian.
gonna have a good. We're gonna have a
Yes.
good conversation. Then we're gonna
Yeah.
have a good
Yes.
conversation. Yeah,
So
we're gonna have
yeah,
a great
this is gonna
conversation.
be, and it's interesting because I mean I'm not sure where you're going, but you made me think about the
White
fact that
Son don't have a lot of questions. I'm not gonna be here for any White Son's gonna be here though. We got a lot of questions
uh,
for them damn nation for. Can't have my
okay.
niggers being all riled up there. So what we talking about here?
And I think that's exactly what we're talking about here.
Okay, okay.
Exactly. Who gets to claim being African and Tunisian these days? And I think that that's an important point.
That's going to be a very interesting conversation because a lot of studies have shown that North Africa has been Arab for quite a long time. That's why I always say
Quite a long time.
sub-Saharan because sub-Saharan they're talking black, but above the sub-Saharan they're talking Arab. But they're all Africans. But at the end of the day, that's going to be a conversation. Like I say, it's going to be an
Yeah, it's
interesting
gonna be a good
conversation.
conversation.
Yeah, it's going to be
So you guys, on that point, I have to go and tend to the family, but you know, always so much fun.
right, right. Again, you guys, we're going to talk about the fentanyl crisis on Monday when we'll do a part two of that because me and MD actually talked about it and we actually showed a police officer lady live on camera fall out like she was zombified and she just fell out and they had to give her two EpiPens to revive her. Yeah, like she was about to die.
Hmm.
That's how strong that stuff shut her down. So I can't imagine it going to England because you got to transport and it's high risk and all that pressure and just. Psh. Anywho, thank you,
Hmm.
Nature Mom.
Thank you.
Please watch that show with rule
Absolutely.
breaker because
Yes.
again, she has a lot of book knowledge,
Okay. I
but
will
book knowledge and
very
street knowledge
unbiasedly
are,
watch it.
please do. Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and and please send me your critique on both sides, on my
Okay.
side and her side, because like I said, I almost feel like you're gonna have to be in a lot of those
Yeah.
shows. But like I said, she's still studying, so I don't even know if she's gonna be able to make it every Friday. But when I say
Okay.
whenever you can, because I do want to have some more discussions with her because she has a very interesting perspective on things, and I want to.
Okay.
I might need somebody to kind of lighten that blow there because I'm just like, yeah. She was like, it's
I'm
not
not
really
sure.
stealing if the money come from trees and trees. And then I was just like, oh my God, she
I
really
wonder what
said.
that's about.
I
Okay.
was wondering too, and I'm still wondering what
Okay.
that's all about. And I'm just like,
Oh,
oh my
okay.
gosh,
Okay. I'm not sure.
yeah, we were kind of
Yeah,
missing each other, Jing. I'm like,
I love
yeah,
it. So it
very
was a
interesting
fiery
perspective.
show. Yeah.
It was a show that was kind of going over my head. We
Okay.
just say that because, like I said,
Okay.
she said she doesn't really get stealing because money come from trees, and she kind of got hippy dippy on me, and I'm just like, no.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm not sure. So I'll have to
I'm
check
sure
that out. Yeah.
she's dealing with a lot of the liberal arts. I'm assuming from her college, so yeah, it's very
Yeah.
extremely
Well,
liberal, and I'm just like,
I think that there is a very interesting like teaching approach in the United States about race, about behavior, which is really you don't see that in other places as much. People
right,
have their other approaches, but yeah, I'm curious, so I will have to see this show. So
okay,
you guys so much fun.
man, thank you, Nature Mom. We see you
Thank
next
you. Thank
week.
you,
Now you're
everybody out there.
right. So did you say you just have to? He's under the weather, so you just have to wait until.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, he's not well this weekend. So hopefully we're
Okay,
gonna get him better and on the show. And he's also gonna contact his sister in Tunisia. So
okay.
we have to figure out that situation because
Now you guys in the
internet.
same time. Oh yeah, internet connection and
We Jawher and I are in the same town. So, but his
okay,
sister, yeah, I don't know what the time zone is there. I haven't looked that up yet. So,
okay. Are
thank
you
you.
guys in the same time zone as England? Because yeah, Empress is in England. I was just curious. Are you guys in the same?
Um,
Are you guys an
no,
hour
I
apart?
think no. I think that England is even like maybe 2 or 3 hours ahead. And again,
No, but
based
they're five.
on five
Okay,
hours
I
from
see.
you,
Yeah, 5 hours from us. England is 5 hours difference. It might be. Well, now yeah, we got the
I have
time
to look
change. It
at a
might be
time.
4 hours. Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Okay.
look at
And
all
so
those zones.
remember, we don't time change at all. So,
Right, right, right.
that's the biggest
I don't think England is
thing.
either.
Yeah.
Okay, so Empress said it's 3:34 in England. So what time is it?
No. So here it is sorry. Do I have a watch somewhere? Yeah, it's
Okay.
6:25. Yeah, so 3 hours difference.
Oh
I mean,
shit!
sorry, yeah, yeah. I know I was like 2 or 3 hours. I couldn't remember exactly. Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Yeah, because me and Rule Breaker are on different times too. So oh wow, this is
Yes. Yeah.
ooh, what a conundrum this is.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, these
International
time
shows,
zones.
man. Golly, yeah, we have
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah,
just as long as I get a mic check,
this is international. So
international.
that's what you
Absolutely.
wanted. Here you go.
Right, right. Well,
You know.
Gyno, me, you, and Juju are all in the same time zone because Juju's in New York.
Baltimore,
Yeah, Baltimore,
11:25.
Atlanta. Yeah, we all in the same time zone. But like I
Okay.
said, there's people that are, like I said, there's some people, a lot of people from Texas, like I said, damn, I'm forgetting names here, but of course, yeah, I forgot. Rule Breakers in Texas, well, Louisiana, Texas, and then
Yeah.
also Inyame's in Texas. So, you know,
Okay.
and I believe we've had people from California on here, a lot of California YouTubers on
Okay.
here. They got a
Okay.
guy actually from Japan.
Okay.
A guy by the name of Judah Nazareth. He be posting, and I don't know. Like I said, these time zones are just we all over the
Yeah.
place with time zones.
So I want to say Japan is another 5 hours ahead of me. Uh,
Yeah.
so it's
Okay.
yeah. Um, so it time relative.
Yeah. So hopefully we can get that. If not, do we have a backup topic just in case he's not recovering?
Yeah,
Or
always. We always have a backup topic,
okay,
especially,
okay.
if we want to entertain Empress, we can always have a, food battle. Ding, ding, ding.
It's funny. We talk about food battles, and England is
Love
like
it.
one of the number one countries for veganism. It's weird. Coming from a country with blood pudding and eel pie, just they got some
Blood pudding.
very yeah blood pudding and eel pie.
Yeah, it's I mean Bloodwurst is in Germany and
Right.
um Kishone, it's a sauce, it's Bloodwurst also. It's very much across. um I have to ask a
Wonder
friend for
why
sure.
England is one of the number one spots for veganism. I'm just saying. Okay. No, but we got some nasty shit over there in USC too, man. Like chitlins and we got
Uh, they
nasty
have
pig
they have
feet.
sim they have
We got
similar
some nasty
things
shit.
over here as well. They've got like
Right. Wait, but you guys
it,
are Islamic though. I know they don't be fucking with the
oh,
pork
but
though.
still, they're eating like parts we
Cow
probably wouldn't
tongue,
eat.
right? Cow tongue, yeah.
Intestines. You know,
Intestines of what? Oh, cows, right?
cows, goats, sheep's.
Right, right. So just a
Yeah,
different animal, right? We don't eat the pork, but we will eat that goat, right? It just, oh gosh.
yeah. The goats are crying too. So
But we're so
yeah.
spiritual, and we're so spiritual, but we're gonna kill them animals though. We're gonna eat them goddamn animals. Oh, but no, we're so spiritual and enlightened, and kill that goddamn animal. Goddamn, I'm hungry right now.
They even eat camel.
See, that's just yeah. I'm done. That's why people say spiritual, blah 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 blah. I'm like, what's your plate look like? Oh, I eat camel eyes and pig intestines and goat balls. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Especially them goat
That's why
balls.
I
You
said
just
this
made me
whole
hungry.
morality.
Yeah. So on that note, I have to go. I gotta go get me some goat balls.
Right. Oh gosh. All right, y'all. We out. Um, hopefully your guest gets well. One of my co-hosts, MD. Hope you get
Right.
well soon, man. I don't know. This is another stage of COVID. I don't know. Go vegan, y'all. That's all I can tell you. Never mind. I'm just being silly. All right, y'all. We out. Peace, deuces. Peace, y'all. Peace, 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 peace.